Welcome to Center School Sightings. Do we have a show for you today? Justin Roberts, a Grammy Award-nominated singer, songwriter, and children's book author, came and decided to present for the whole school. It all started with the LEAF program. Mrs. Alfighi wrote and received a grant called the Writers in Residence Program for Student Enrichment. Then Mrs. Hutton read Justin Roberts' book, The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade, to the teachers to kick off the Peace Builders program. The teachers just knew we had to invite this talented author to our school. We were lucky that Justin Roberts was in New York and was available to drive to Long Meadow for the one-day author visit. As the author of The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade, Justin Roberts perfectly matched the LEAF Grant Award and the Peace Builders program. The story includes many similar points to the Peace Builders Pledge. The opportunity for the author to read aloud this book at the assembly was enriching for every student in the school community. Yes, Faye, the connection of the book to his original song, The Bully, was a great share by the author. Everyone enjoyed the songs performed by Mr. Roberts. He reminded us that peace isn't just a one-time thing. It has to continue on and on to make a difference. Mr. Roberts also spoke about the creativity of writing rhymes, song lyrics, fiction books, illustrating pictures, and making music videos at the Writers' Workshop. 5th grade students collaborated with Mr. Roberts on the writing process, and we created our own work. Our goal is to complete a finished product of a short story picture book with illustrations or an original song and perhaps a music video to share with our class and kindergarten buddies. My favorite part of the day was learning how a music video was created. I really enjoyed the special writers workshop that the 5th grade had with Justin Roberts. There are a lot of people to thank for this amazing presentation. Thank you to Mrs. Goldman, who worked with the students to create the beautiful welcome sign. Thank you to the office staff for helping organize the details for this event. Thank you to the PTO for promoting the Justin Roberts book and CD sale. And thanks to Mrs. Quinn, Miss Manna, Mrs. Rizzler, and Mrs. Rafferty for participating in the Writers' Workshop. Mrs. Alfiki even wanted to thank the CSS staff for their excellence. Wow. But the big thanks goes to Mrs. Hutton, and especially Mrs. Alfiki! Thank you for your hard work, Mrs. Alfiki. Everyone loved Justin Roberts' visit, and now it's our audience's turn to enjoy the presentation. For CSS, I'm Faye. I'm Jane. Thank you for watching Center School Sightings.
My amazing teacher, Mrs. Roberson, as I was writing this book, which is The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade, I thought a lot about the skills that I learned when I was younger and how lucky I was to have a great teacher who inspired creative thinking. And I think every one of you sitting here today are very fortunate to have wonderful teachers who inspire your creative thinking. So without further ado, let's give a warm Center School welcome to Grammy-nominated wonderful author and writer, Justin Roberts.
Hardly anyone noticed young Sally McCabe. She was the smallest girl in the smallest grade. And they certainly didn't know, or at least didn't mention, that Sally was paying super extra special attention. So on February 3rd at 11:29, Sally stepped straight out of that lunchroom line. She said, "I'm tired of seeing this terrible stuff. Stop hurting each other. This is enough." Now, a few laughed out loud or didn't care that there was some girl with her hand in the air. But then something super extra special happened that day as Howard O. Henry suddenly set down his tray. Like waves rolling in one after another, first Molly rose up, then Michael's twin brother. It was Tyrone and Terrence, then Amanda and Paul, who pushed out their chairs and stretched their arms tall. From the friendly lunch lady with the dishes she carted, to that new 3rd grade teacher who had only recently started. Yes, everyone there, even Principal Claire, had joined little Sally with their fingers in the air. People remembered and would quite often mention that Sally had been paying super extra special attention, and how the world could transform and a change could be made by the smallest girl in the smallest grade. The end. Yeah, she didn't want everyone to be so mean to each other. Because she paid really close attention. Yeah, I think that's a great answer. By one, it happened one by one, it started one. You guys sing it as loud as you can. Ready? It happened. It started.
I read your book, The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade. How did you get inspired to write that story?
Well, that story is kind of unique because I had written a song many years before called Billy the Bully, and it had a character in it named Sally McCabe, but she was a really small character in the story, and I always wanted to know more about her, so I decided to write a book just about Sally McCabe and have her be the main character.
Yeah, it's cool to know more about a character that you've already heard before. So I've heard lots of rhyming. Do you like rhyming in your stories?
I do. You know, the first book I wrote was The Smallest Girl in the Smallest Grade, and I decided to rhyme partly because when I was younger, I used to like to read stories that rhymed, and I would memorize them. Like, I don't know if you know the story, Pierre by Maurice Sendak. Have you ever read that story before?
I've never heard of it. What's it about?
It is about a boy who says, "I don't care."
When you were younger, who inspired you to start writing?
I had a great teacher in 5th grade named Mrs. Roberson, and I went to school at Greenwood Elementary in Des Moines, Iowa, and she was really into creative writing, and so she introduced me to a lot of authors just by having us read a lot, but she also had us writing stories and tried to get us to write stories on our own, and then she would publish these books and put them in the library of all the stories from the year, and that really inspired me. And it was really fun writing stories and making silly rhymes and making up things that made me laugh, and that was the beginning of writing for me.
Yeah, so my 5th grade teacher always is really big on writing, and she keeps teaching me new ways to start like rhyming and doing introductions, so I really like writing too.
Great. Do you make up your own stories about?
Yeah, like I really like writing stories too.
What are some things that you've written about? Like what kinds of?
Well, usually I write about like stuff that's happened. What about you?
You mean in your own life?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So nonfiction, kind of true stories. I like that too, but I also like just making up weird stories. Like I wrote a song about a princess, the very first princess who ever wore pink, and I decided that there was at one point a kingdom where everyone just wore beige and no one wore any color, and then she decides to wear color for the first time, and she's like this radical, and she ends up like everyone gets surprised, but then soon everyone starts wearing pink in different colors, and she changes the whole town.
Well, thank you for coming to visit us. We had a great time meeting you.
Thanks for the great interview. You did a great job. Up and down in some way, it can't just go, the bright lights of the city block the stars. You have to actually sing. Yep. That's still kind of speaking, but you made your voice kind of go up and down, but more like a singing. Yep. That's good. Da 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 da. And sometimes you have to think when you're writing a line, before you start making rhymes, sometimes you don't want to end with certain words when you know it's going to be hard to rhyme. Building.
Outside.
Oh, what did you say? From side to side. Third table?
Pride.
Pride, very good. Tide. Yep. Live.